Okay. So what we're going to do this week is to introduce Revit. Okay. So we'll pause with AutoCAD for a while and see how we can do this in Revit. Okay. So open your project 1, step 4, ABC, uh, whichever you have. If you've completed A or B or C, that's fine. Or if you're still in step 3, where we did the site plan. So we're going to do the site plan, the grid, the floor plan in Revit. Okay. So open your project 4 and then open Revit. So you should have Revit installed in your CAD lab computers, if not your laptop. So you can also download and install Revit using the same technique. Just Google Revit student version. Yeah, so go if you are not able to find the installation, go to our IT group. They should be able to help you. Okay. So again, open your project 4 or 3 if you're still at 3. But do remember that the submission for this is on Thursday. Okay. So you should have your as built, your demolition plan, your proposed plan with the dimension, and then your furniture plan without the dimension and the schedule. Okay. Now we're going to use this as a reference for our Revit introduction to Revit. So if you open Revit, you'll see familiar options here. So the recent drawings, Revit files. The file produced in Revit is RVT, .rvt. Okay. So you can open one or click on the recent drawings that you have opened or Revit files that you have opened, or you can create a new model. So in Revit, we create models or families. Families are like blocks. So if we talk of families, we talk of blocks. So a door belongs to a family. A window belongs to a family. Okay, that's how Revit considers the files. So we'll open a new model, and similarly, you are asked to choose a template. So we have here metric and imperial. So we'll use metric since our project uses metric. You can actually also open a template. Normally, offices would have their own template. So these are templates. Okay. But for this introduction, we're only going to use the default template. Your professor next term, when you really start Revit, might ask you to use a certain template which becomes the standard, similar to our metric and imperial standard in AutoCAD. So select project. So we're creating a new project based from the metric template. Click OK. Okay. So what we have here is the opening screen. So you have your drawing area and the current property selected. So there will be whatever you select, the property of that object will be shown here. So for example, if I select this, it tells me this is still part of the floor plan. If I select this is now a reference plane. If I select this is an elevation marker. Okay. Again, this is a reference plane. If I click outside, I am in the floor plan view. And there are different items that you can manipulate or control. So that for a floor plan, these are the items that you can control. If you select several items of different family, it will not show because there are no commonalities between the two in terms of properties. Okay, so you click outside. Down here is the project browser. Okay, so project browser and then the properties. Now, what we want to do is we want to go to the site plan. So here we have floor plans, and we want to go to the site plan. So you go to the site plan by double clicking on it. And you'll notice that you're in the site plan if you see this marker right here. So this is like the base point, like project base point. You'll learn more about this again next term. This is just an introduction. So I'm just going to show how we can do what we are doing in AutoCAD, translate it here. So we're in the site plan. And what we want to do is we want to go back to our AutoCAD file. Okay. Now, we're going to import this into AutoCAD. Okay. So we're going to do that by clicking on the Insert button. And you have the option to link a CAD file or import a CAD file. So linking means you are simply creating a reference. Importing will be embedding it into the Revit file. So we just want to link the CAD file. So we want to make sure we know where we can find it. So I know where I can find it. It's in my PC. I think, where is it? Under downloads. So let's see. There it is. Downloads. Nope. Where did I put it? Okay. It's in my OneDrive. Here. Okay. Let me just copy this and paste it here. Nope. Somehow my folders are not showing. So I guess OneDrive, there it is. CAD to this one. Okay, so once you have found the file, again, you're in the site plan view. Okay, everybody, make sure you're in the site plan view before you start the link option. If not, cancel and then make sure you're in the site plan view. And then go to your folder where your file is. And then we want to say current view only. So we want to see the imported or linked CAD file only in the current view, which is the site plan. We don't want to see it in the other plans. Okay. Next, we want to say, make it black and white. So there are colors. So we want to not to preserve it. We can I prefer black and white. Okay. And we can import all layers. We can say auto detect and we'll see if it will give us the correct. Normally it does. And because we have some lines that are a little bit off, right? Maybe slightly off axis, we don't want Revit to correct that. See, our site plan sometimes are a little bit sloped. We don't want Revit to be correcting it. So uncheck that. And AutoCAD has the origin, which is our XY, right? So we want to say auto origin to internal origin as a reference. There are other options. We can insert it manually, okay? But auto origin will be fine, okay? So take a photo of that. That normally is our setup to import or link a CAD file. Okay, I'll click open. And notice the base point, compare that to the origin in AutoCAD. Okay? So that's where it inserted my CAD file. Now, this here is a boundary of what you are able to see. Now, notice here, if you select that, Revit is cropping the view, showing only the crop region. Okay? So, and then we have a scope box. Okay? So we don't have any right here. And if you click apply or bring your mouse to the drawing area, the action that you did here will execute. So again, crop view, so it gets crop region visible. If I want to show the crop region, select that, it gets to be visible. Okay? So again, you either select this and click apply, but you don't need to. You just bring your cursor to the drawing area and it will be executed. Now, this here are elevation markers. They're actually clickable. It will bring you to the view. So if you click this one here, it will show you, not the scope box, okay, this one here. It will show you that this actually points to the left or east. So this is the east view. But because our drawing is right here, you cannot see our drawing. So what you want to do is, you want to move this to the right, so that when we build here, you are able to see the east elevation. And right here, this is the south elevation. So again, you can actually let it stay here, but in my case, normally I just want to bring this. So select and bring this somewhere here, okay? Just for organization, okay? And likewise, this one here. Now, if you click and this line appears, this line is a section line. If I bring this here, somewhere here where the building is, it will cut that building. Okay, so cancel. let's remove the scope box for now. Okay, let's just delete this. I don't want to talk about the scope box for now. And again, when you select this, normally it's good to select using a crossing option and then moving it maybe closer. So we're just trying to organize our drawing area. Now, we could place this to the uh, project base, but I don't want to discuss that for now. So I'm going to limit the discussion to creating the site plan and the building. Again, moving this, I can move that over there. So those are our elevation markers. Now, to create the site plan, again, while you are in the site plan view, you want to go to the massing and site tab. And then you'll click their property lines. Okay. There are two options. You want to create by entering the distances and bearing, similar to what we did here. Remember the distance and bearing, north, east, south, right? Okay, so you can do that, or because we already have the AutoCAD drawing, we can create by sketching. And if you click here, pick lines, you can simply pick the property line drawn in AutoCAD, and it will automatically, once you click OK, you cannot do anything unless you click OK. You need to click the checkbox, and it creates the property line for you. So there's the property line, okay? And there's the AutoCAD file. Now, once we have done that, you can also draw the driveway and the building footprint and all that by doing the same method, okay? But what we're interested here for now is the property line. So notice here, once I click that, it says property line. If I click this one, it says this is an imported symbol, which is the AutoCAD file. Okay, so we have the property line. Now, notice I can now edit the table. I can edit the sketch or edit the table. If I edit the table, this will now convert to the table. We're not going to be able to do the sketch anymore. We'll say yes. And what do we have here? Notice that these are the distances and the bearing that we did in AutoCAD. So we could actually do the property line using distances and bearing, or simply pick the lines. Okay, we can convert this to the table, so you can have the bearing check, the distances, the bearing check. So you can check this, right? Take a photo of that, check whether it is similar or the same as the one we have for our AutoCAD file. See, even the arc, right? 7909. If you go to our file, our arc should be 7909. So that's week 3 presentation. The radius for the arc is indeed 7909, right? And then here we had 15097, right? 15097. The bearing might be different, okay? 4850, 9 degrees east, right? So you just need to verify, and it should be correct based on the drawing and the orientation. Any question? Anything not clear regarding how to create a property line? So you can create a property line by typing distance, the distance, the north-south orientation, the bearing, and then the direction, east or west. What type? Line or arc? So in most cases, line. If you need an arc, you can also type arc. Okay. And going left or right. So this one is going right. Okay. Okay. Were you able to do that? Yeah. Okay. Let me pause. Okay. So again, you can check the distance once you've imported the CAD file. You can go to the Modify tab. Okay. And then measure between two references. Okay. Just to verify whether you were able to import it correctly. So 3398 looks okay. Escape to cancel. Now, to again demonstrate how to create the site plan, once you have an AutoCAD file, is very easy. So you just click on massing and site, property line, create by sketching, and then select pick lines and simply pick the lines. Okay. Okay. Once it's closed, click on the finish edit mode. Normally, if you are in an edit mode, you cannot get out of it until you click the check or X button. Okay. Now that I have done that, you now have a property line. Now, if you want to see the table, the bearing, okay, you select the property line. If you're having trouble selecting the property line, you can hit the tab key. It will toggle between items in that area. So that's toggling between the AutoCAD file and the property line, and then you click to select. Okay, you have to click to select, and then edit table. Again, once you convert that from a sketch-based property to a table, it cannot be converted back. So click yes, and there's the table. And you can verify this with your numbers. Always verify. Okay, I'll click OK. And then next, we're going to set our true north and project north. So this is our true north. Now, how do we work on our project north? So we go to manage. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Manage. And then right here, we have position. And then it says rotate project north. Okay. So we want to rotate project north to our project or aligning it to our building. So we want to say we can either simply rotate it or align it to a line that we are going to select. So normally this is the option you'd like to choose. So we want to align it to this line, which is our building line that we want to be made horizontal, 0 degrees. There you go. So this is a warning that you can simply click OK or cancel. It says rotate project north command has successfully processed 472 elements. Yeah, that's acceptable. I just click OK on to that. And notice that this is now our project north. So that was our true north. This is our project north. In the project north, this is where you want to do your building. Okay. So notice here in AutoCAD, of course, we are rotating it. If you've rotated this, then it would have been rotated as well. Okay. But we can rotate that later. Okay. Now, from here, if you want to go back to the true north, remember you are in the floor plan, site plan view. Okay? So if you want to go to the true north, you simply go here under floor plan, properties, orientation, and then just change this to true north. Again, you can click apply or simply go here and it goes back to our true north. It's a lot easier. Instead of AutoCAD UCS world plan world. Here, you simply select project north, true north. Easy, right? So we normally would like to work in the project north. You don't want to be working at a slanted orientation, right? Okay, now, but unfortunately, we have this now at a slant. Okay, so actually, what we can do is within AutoCAD, we can rotate this, okay, or copy this here, right, and then rotate it. So let's see how we can do that. So go back to AutoCAD. Kindly go back to AutoCAD. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this as a reference. So I'm going to copy this from here to here. Okay. And then I'm going to likewise just make a copy of this. Copy this. Because I don't want to make a mess of your AutoCAD file. So I'm just going to copy it here to there. Okay. To that endpoint. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate previous. So the previous selection, P. So everything that I move or copied previously will be selected. Okay. So that will be this one here. Sorry, that's not what I want. I want to copy this. So rotate. I'm going to rotate all of this, but I want to remove this. So I want to remove that. So hold down the control key and then select this to deselect that selection. Okay, I don't want that rotated. Enter. So rotate, select all, and then hold down the control key and select the boundary or building footprint. Okay, nothing else to select. So hit space bar and then base point will be right there at that corner. And then to rotate, I'm going to say reference. The reference will be the current building alignment. So from here to, let's say, right there, endpoint. And then I'll rotate it along this perimeter. Okay? Okay? And then I'm going to move previews. Now it's that selection set, the one that I rotated. I'm going to move it from here to there. Okay. Now you might want to save this as a different file. So maybe save it as Revit. Okay. So this is the one you imported in Revit. So save that. Maybe not. Because this is the one that we linked, right? So yeah, let's just save it for now. Replace it. And then go back to Revit. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to go back to the Insert tab. Okay. So you have your link files. Okay. You have your linked files, but you want to manage the linked files. So there's the link file. You want to reload because we made some changes. You want to reload. Okay. So reload, close, and there you go. We now have the correct orientation of the building. So what we did, we made a copy, okay, and then we rotated so that it will align to our site, saved it. Because it's the same file, you want to simply manage the link and then select that and reload. I can also remove, unload, okay, import, so it embeds. But for now, I just needed to reload. What do I do next? Next, I'm going to now draw the grid line. I'm going to stop here to answer questions. So next, we're going to add our grid. We're going to go to our, we'll do it here because we're not able to see in our level 1. We're not able to see anything, right? In our level 1. Okay. So we're going to go back to our site plan and we're going to create the grid here. So GR is the shortcut key. GR, grid. So we have here an 8mm bubble. So if you want to change the value of a property, you need to edit the type. Okay. So these are the different properties of this family. So this is a system family grid and the type is an 8mm bubble. Before you change anything here, you need to make a duplicate and rename it. Okay? So don't change anything. We'll accept the value for now for this system family, which is a grid. We'll have an 8mm bubble and we'll see what it looks like. So let's click OK to that. And for this one, we'll select this endpoint and there's our grid number 1 and then we'll place that somewhere here. Okay? Now, we can make an offset. The value of the offset is 3353 to make the next grid. So we're going to say 3353 offset and then we're going to pick lines that are already available we're going to select the grid, and it will create the next one. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so that means it's constrained. Okay, now it went to the other area, so let me delete that. Again, GR 3353 offset and pick lines. See, it tells you where the line is going, right? If you go to the left, see that light blue line? That's the offset. So be careful. Place it to the right side so that it goes there. Now, it made the number 3 earlier. That's why it's giving me 4 now. So I'm just going to change that to 3. And then, again, here, make sure you are clicking an offset more to the right side. Okay, 4. And then this one is still 3353. So I can still create an grid there to the right. But the next one is 1829. So I'm going to change this to 1829. Sorry. 1829. Okay. And then make the last one. Again, make sure it's going to the right side. There you go. Okay. Now, let's change the scale. Remember, it's annotative, similar to AutoCAD. Let's change the scale to 1 to 100. Okay. So it's smaller. So it reduces the value based on the scale, similar to our annotative objects in AutoCAD. Okay, now we're going to do the ABC grid. So we're going to say GR. Now, this is the first one, so no offset yet. And we're going to start somewhere here. We're going to make a line. So click line. And then start here from the endpoint. And then go to this point right here. And change this to capital letter A. Enter. And then next, we're going to offset this by 2438. So 2438, 2438, and then we're going to pick lines. Again, make sure it should go more down, and it will automatically assign the value B. Okay, so here again, pick line. Make sure it is more to the downside, and then you get the C. Again, same, you get the D. Now this one here is 1524, offset 1524. Okay, change that. And then make an offset. Make sure you're more on the downside. That's E, 1524, and F. Okay. Okay. Next, we're going to do the wall. Now, the wall, in our case, if we go to week 1, we'll see the values of our wall layers. So you remember this, multi-line. Okay. So we have here the different thickness. So we have an exterior masonry 92. How do we do that in Revit? We simply go to architecture, wall, or WA is the shortcut key. Okay. So we have different types of wall here, pre-made. Okay. But because we're making one, we're going to start with something similar to what we have. And then we want to edit this, edit type. So select M exterior brick on CMU or metal stud. Maybe metal stud is better, right? So ours is similar to that type. I have a metal stud here. So brick, metal stud. I think this one is better, closer. You edit the type. And what did I say? Before you make changes, you don't want to override this. Okay? You want to duplicate and place in front your initial. Okay? You can remove the 2 at the end, the suffix, just add your prefix, your initial. You click OK. So now, because we've made a duplicate, I can make changes to this family, system family basic wall. The type, specific type is named this one with this value, but I can now edit it and it's showing me the different layers. Okay. Now, the first is the brick, and the brick thickness is the same as ours, 92. That's good. The next layer is an air space, which is the same as ours. Okay, air, but ours is 25. So you simply change this to 25. Okay? So you're not anymore adding or subtracting, similar to what we did in AutoCAD for multi-line. The next one is an insulation. So this is a rigid insulation. So we don't have air. What we have is thermal. It's a thermal layer, but it is made of, so you click these 3 buttons right here. That's the material assembly browser. And then you select or look for rigid insulation. Click OK. So the material is now rigid insulation and the thickness is 50. So change this to 50. Okay. Next, we have the metal stud. We don't divide it into 2. We simply say 48 plus 48 is 96. Okay? So, but this one, you need to put under structure. This is the core, the structural membrane. So, we have to put it here, metal stud. Okay? And the size is 96. So, we're going to say 96. And then we have an interior gypsum board of 13. We don't have a membrane layer, so I'm going to delete that. We don't have another substrate. I'm going to delete that. This side here is the interior side, and this here is the exterior side. The gypsum is 13, so I'm going to place here 13. If I click on the preview button, I'm going to see the preview of this material in the plan view, or I can also look at it in a section view. So that's how it's going to look like in a section view. Who likes Revit? Right? Looks easy, right? So things are done for you immediately. And you don't have to subtract or go and do it as we did it in multi-lines. Okay? Now, the function of this are important. See, this is the finished material brick. This here is a thermal layer, air, rigid insulation. Okay? This is the structure, the metal stud. And this is the finish number 2, the interior material. So functions are important. Okay? In terms of its priority when it is being wrapped around. Right? Especially at corners. These are the thickness. Okay? And that's the structural material right there. Okay? So we click OK to that. And we click OK to this. Now, before we insert it, we need to say the location of our wall should be at the core center line. Remember, the core is right here at the center of the stud from our AutoCAD file. We want to do the same, assign the same location of the line or the wall based at the core center line. Number 1. Number 2, we want our wall to start in our level 1, and we want it to go, remember we're creating a 3D model, not just a simple line. We want the top to be going to the level number 2, whichever or however high our wall is. So, core center line is our justification. The wall starts in level 1. You can have a base offset, like it starts from level 1 and then it can go down to the foundation. And then the top constraint is level 2, and you can have a top offset if you want to. Okay, so we have those 0 for now. And then now we're ready to what? Draw the lines. We can also say pick lines, but there are too many lines to pick. So we're just going to draw this. Okay? But before we draw, maybe we'd like to, maybe I can start drawing. I'll just pick this line here. That's the intersection. Okay? See? See that? Okay? Similar to what we did in AutoCAD. So we go around and we click here, right there, right? That's our grid, okay? So we pick here, okay? And then we go down. So these are our grid, so we select that, okay? And then we go around, we select this, okay? And then we go up. So this is our grid. So we go up there. And then here, because we have this already, so maybe we just want to say 1678. Okay? So from here, it's best to say 1678. 1678. Enter. Okay? And then we touch our grid line right here. And then here, we go to the intersection. of our grid. Where's our grid? Grid is this line right here. Yep, this line. So up to there. Okay. And then we go here up to our grid. So again, that's our grid line C. And then we go back. Don't do the door. Okay. So here, our grid line is right here. Okay. So this one here. Okay. And then we're going back to the beginning. So we simply say C to close. Oops, sorry. It didn't close. Let's just go back to that starting point, and there you go. Okay. Now, if we go to this 3D, default 3D view, okay, it asks us to save the project. Always save. So this will be Revit project 1, step 1, 2, 4. Okay. Options when you're saving. Maximum backup 3 is good. I just want it to have 1. 1 is enough for me. Click OK and save. I type C. So somehow I typed something. I'll double check on that. But here's my building. See? You select one. So 3D view, you select one and you can rotate around and you can see your building. Now, the height of the building is based on your level that is defined in your elevation view. So if you go to your elevation view, so you can see your floor plans, section, elevation. Okay. Now, let me go back to my floor plan first. Let's go back to my site plan. Notice that, of course, I did not move this yet, right? I did not move this yet. So let me move this like what I did earlier. So I'm going to move this somewhere here. And notice that it's a little bit off, I think, right? So make sure you rotate it. See, it's a little bit off. So make sure you rotate it so it aligns perpendicular to the building. Okay. So zoom in. Again, I'm going to move this. Notice that it's a little bit slanted. So I'm going to select this, move it somewhere here. Okay. And then just click and select the circle, and then click and rotate this a little bit so it snaps to the 90-degree or 0-degree angle. Okay. Otherwise, your building will be at a slant because it should look perpendicular to the building. Okay. So as well, select this using the crossing window button. Okay. Move this somewhere here. And then there's that rotate button. Click, hold, and then just move it to the right a little bit so it snaps to the 0 degrees. Okay, making sure it's straight. And we have one more here. Okay, move that and click on the circle. You see the rotate button, click, hold, and then rotate it a little bit. Okay? It snaps to the 0 or 90 degrees.
There's no coordinates like the AutoCAD, right? Because we see the x-axis and y-axis that we can follow when we want to coordinate our directions. In Revit, it's not the same option with the cursor.
Yeah, no. Like
There
the
is no,
input, yeah.
yeah, and there's no the one that we use to choose the snap points, the and then
Yeah, there is snap points. Like if I make a line, I can snap to the endpoints.
but you need to set.
This one I don't. I just place it somewhere so that it's to the right, left, or top or bottom. Okay. Now that I have that, I can go to my east elevation, and I'm not seeing my building here. Let's see. I can select this, bring it down a little bit. Let's see. East, north. So north shows my building. I need to bring this across. Okay. I need to bring this level line across. See, it completes the building. And likewise, this one, I need to bring this closer. Okay, bring it a little closer. So not too far. Okay, so that's the north. You go back to east. It's not yet there. South. Okay, so bring this, oops, bring this closer. So this is the what we call the level. Okay, each level creates a floor plan. Each level creates a floor plan. West, there's our west. I wonder what happened to our east. So let's look at our east elevation marker. So this is east, and select this. Make sure it is straightened up. Yep. And then let's go there. Double click, and we're not able to see it. Okay. Is it being cropped? No, this is our crop view. Uh, let's uncheck our crop views. Okay, no scope box. So somehow our east elevation is missing. But we do have our north, south, west. Ah, maybe I know why. Okay, so select this and check where there it is. See, this is a section line. Because I left the section line here, it's actually cutting the section and then looking at nothing. So I need to bring this here so that I can see my building. See, if I select this, see, there's that section line. I can actually cut the building by dragging this here. Okay, so this is the south elevation. Notice what happens in the south elevation view. It gets sectioned. Okay, I can look at it in a realistic or shaded view. Okay, how about realistic? See, there's the cut section, the cut wall, and then the wall behind it. Okay, so shaded. So the reason why I wasn't able to see my east elevation earlier, okay, is because when I go to my site plan, I left the section line. Okay, so make sure you click on the arrow and check where the section line is. It should be before the building. The arrow. Okay. Now, if you click on the circle, that's where you are able to rotate, making sure it is perpendicular to the building. Okay? So we created the grid easily, right? So project 1, step 2, step 3, done already in Revit. If you're able to project north, true north, what else didn't we do? We made the wall. Okay, we made our basic wall. We are able to edit it, make sure you duplicate, you edit. We were able to create our wall easily. We duplicate.
Yeah, but we did that with the walls.
Yeah, we selected a wall that is close to the type of wall that we have. So we started with the metal stud, and then we duplicated it, we renamed it, and then we edit the type. Easy, right? You add the values based on your wall information. You have a preview of the plan or the section, how it's going to look like. Okay. We went around and added the walls, making sure the location line is at the core center line. The base of the wall, because we're making a 3D model, the base is at level 1, which is our ground line. You can rename that. You can have a base offset going up or down. So the building or the wall could be higher or lower than the base. And then the top is at level 2. And you can change the height of the building by going to an elevation and then change this. So right now, the height of the wall is 3,600. If you want to change this to, let's say, 4,000, you simply type 4,000, and your wall, because it is constrained to the level, will go up. 3,600. I clicked it. No, it's given 3,600. Right? But I could change this. Revit actually means revise it. It's easy to revise it. Revise it. Okay? So you simply change this. If I want this to be 3,000, okay? Enter. Then the walls are 3,000. All that will also change automatically. Now, to continue, let's go to our level 1. Okay, we're not seeing our building here. Let's change our let's remove that. There it is. There's our building. It's being cut by our crop view. Okay. And then we can add the interior wall, but it's easy, right? You create an interior wall, add that. But what I'd like to do now, we're lacking time, is to add a door. So let's say door. Again, you can change this based on the size of our door, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to select a double door close to what we're using, like 1800. And then you simply place it here. Okay? Is it up or down? Was ours up or down? Going up. Okay? There you go. So up, and then here, outside, inside, outside. Okay? There you go. And then you can add other doors. We can also add windows. So you can change the value, select one, edit the type, and then change the value. Okay? So let's say I want a different value. I need to duplicate it first and then change the width and the height right here. Again, duplicate it first, put your initial in front. So our window is 915, right? So I can use this, a fixed window, or maybe I'd like to use another window. What type of window do I want? So let's say this one here, okay? Window double hang, edit the type, okay? Duplicate it. So elements, duplicate type mark, okay? Duplicate it, add your initial RN, and then what's the size? Our size is, the width is what? 915. And then we'll just say the height is also 1200. Okay? So make sure you rename it first and then you change the value. This is just the name. You need to change the value 915. Okay? Click OK. And then you can use it somewhere here. I think we have one right there. Now, why are we not able to see our window and the wall is not being cut open? Well, another item that you need to check is your view range. Okay. So here we have under extent the view range. Okay. The view range is the bottom of the range is 0. So level 1, 0. But it is cutting at a height of 2600. That's too high. So maybe we'll just cut at 1000. Okay? At 1000 or 1 meter, click apply. And there it is. See? It's the cut plane where you're cutting the model. Remember, this is a 3D model. At 2600, it is above the window, above the door. Remember, the door height is what? 2100. If our cut plane is 2600, it's cutting above the door. Make sense? When I place 100, then the door is now being cut. So, view range. Okay? Click apply and okay. So 915, where do we have 915? I think we have a 915 here. So we'll say window 915, then you can place it here. Now, you simply place it there and you can flip this so that the window is at the outside, like this one. And then, if you want to change the distance, okay, you simply click here and type the value. So let's say it's 515, enter. See? You just click that and change the value. Revise it. Rev it. Okay? Easy. If I want to move this by 530, I can do that. 530, enter. What do we have in our drawing? What's the distance from here to there? So I can say linear align distance from here to there is 704. Okay? So I can do this, select that, and say 704. Enter. Okay?
In AutoCAD, when we insert blocks or whatever under certain layer, here you didn't do that.
No layering. Yep. Yet. We can, but that's I don't want to complicate matters. It's one session, right? But we're already able to do almost projects 1 to 4. Almost, right? It's easy. So here, you can draw the interior walls. You create a wall, right? You select an interior wall. that's similar to ours, close, okay? You edit the type, you duplicate, you say RN, okay? Remove the 2, click OK, and then you edit the type, gypsum, ours is 13, so we say 13, and then metal stud is 96, you type 96, and then we have another gypsum of 13, okay? So 13, okay, that's our uh, wall in section view, wall in plan view. You click OK, and then you can start doing this, and you can start doing your wall. But we need our column first. But that's a brief introduction to Revit. You now know how it works. When you go to the tutorial, Revit Essential Training, it will be easy for you because you already know how Revit works. Okay, so I encourage you to go through that tutorial, and especially if you are doing co-op or you want to work, it's your work term next term. Having the Revit skill gives you maybe a advantage, or maybe opportunities can open up when job asks for Revit knowledge. Okay, so try to do this in the side. This is not really our course, but I'll answer more questions on Thursday regarding this, maybe complete this, but we'll need to proceed or go back to AutoCAD. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction.